in terms of where impact investments and people are going to learn, Southeast Asia is definitely a up and coming region. There has been a lot of capital and also talent flowing into the startup ecosystem, and also companies getting sort of raising large amounts of capital, getting listed. So that's for sure.
Well, I think, first of all, this is really good questions. I think many students, they have no idea what they can do. They have no idea if I want to do sustainability, what should I starting from? But I think for my experience, I would say now I'm working for the green and sustainable finance. So definitely I will gather some information, for example, the standard or principle that I mentioned. But of course, I think this is also a self-reflection to the student, what actually sustainability job that you want to do. I would say in sustainability, that was a really broad. So Katy is on the investor side. So I'm for the external supporting or professional organization supporting investor and also the corporate. But other than that, maybe the government, they also have a policy making. They did a lot of people doing research, even the big four, a lot of consultant helping the corporate to really do some like the implementation work and also some drafting work. And also some NGO, they are really focused on one aspect, for example, water conservation, restoration, such kind of thing. And don't forget the corporate. They need a lot of people and also doing really groundworking on there. So I think this is the question also to the student. But for my side, if I'm a student, I'm really keen to work on the green and sustainable finance. First of all, I would say get familiar with the standard. Take a look to how's the global trend, which country or which region they are growing up. I say APEC overall is growing up, just a second place after the Europe for this year, I would say currently. So American is also getting up as well. Africa may be a new star in the future. So take a look of that, and also take a look on what we call the user opposite and what kind of instrument is in the main trend. Grabbing those information that will help you in the interview, so you can really answer the interviewer questions, demonstrate that, oh, you do have a sense of that. Even you are a student, you are really like a white paper, a fresh graduate, but showing you, oh, this is something additional from your school talk, from your lecture, because I would say sometimes in the master degree or a bachelor degree, because of academic, they are not, as fast as the market practice. So those information they may have, they may can share with you really like a shallow level, not very in depth. So I think the student can take their own time to dig more.
Putting aside COVID, which I think, does have changed quite a lot of movements, looking at a longer term, when I think about where we've experienced very interesting innovation and companies, I definitely think in terms of where impact investments and people are going to learn, Southeast Asia is definitely a up and coming region. There has been a lot of capital and also talent flowing into the startup ecosystem, and also companies getting sort of raising large amounts of capital, getting listed. So that's for sure. I think, again, without the COVID overhang, China continues to be very interesting. But, I think just for your question, Glenn, do you mean where people are going to get education, or are they going to work? I just want
more on the work side rather than the education side.
I see.
Education will probably be learning by doing.
Yeah, for sure. So I think we are seeing some movements into Southeast Asia and Singapore. Singapore, where there has been a lot of government policy support into the sustainability field. We see a lot of funds and companies getting set up there, and even family offices. Having said that, I think Hong Kong still remains to be a strong hub. for ESG, being connected to China and the Greater Bay region. So I think we're also seeing interesting developments in the innovation and the venture scene with Science Park, and Cyberport and other peers. I do think Hong Kong has its staying power, and there are different openings when it comes to, I think, private wealth management. There's an increasing focus within private wealth management in terms of ESG and impact. And so they need a lot of, I think, new ideas and new talent that can connect with the next generation, right? So their clients are also, the older ones are handing the baton to the younger generation. So they need to recruit new people that can be on the same wavelength, if you will.
Well, I think that's the pledge or the goal, or you can say it is kind of like the directive or policy. There's a lot of huge impact, I would say. First of all, that may not be directly impact to the graduate, but I would say that impact to a lot of different organization and corporate. First of all, I would say most direct impact, despite the government, will be the financial institutions. For the study that I had for the last 2 or 3 years, I know that Hong Kong, they have set up like a steering agency. The name is a cross agency steering group, which including the regulator of the financial institution in Hong Kong, including like the Hong Kong MA, SFC, Insurance Authority, and also the MPF. So all these financial institution as a regulator, like the insurance company, banks, asset manager, they have a mission to do. The mission is they need to have more disclosure on the climate, more disclosure on their portfolio, how they're going to manage it, how to avoid the climate-related risks. I would say there was definitely some linkage behind with the carbon neutrality that you mentioned as a Hong Kong, we committed 2050. So I would say there was a cascade, all right? So if the bank or the fund manager, they have like a what we call the mission or directions. So they need to invest some of the more clean or a less pollution company. So, and that message will pass or forward to the corporate. So we see a trend. So despite the Hong Kong Exchange also requests the corporate need to disclose their climate disclosure according to the TCFD by 2025. So the company itself is also need to do a lot of carbon reduction disclosure, setting target in order to attract more institution investor like Katy or their peers or family office in order to buy their stock. So I think this is really cascade down to from government to the financial institution to the corporate. And that also create a lot of new opportunity, for example, like the EY and also the consultant, because they are supporting like the banks to do the stress test, they need to do the reporting disclosure. And that also create a lot of different opportunity. I would say currently giving like the carbon neutrality or net zero opportunity. So this is a really a good opportunity, a golden age for the sustainability or ESG field, for at least from here 5 to maybe 5 to 10 years for the next 5 to 10 years. That we need a lot of ESG and sustainability talent to join the field.
So maybe I separate it into like more like hard technical skills and other skills. I think hard technical skills is so basically understanding and investing. So you have understanding of like how do you value a company, how do you look at financial statements, and sort of basic analytical skills. So being able to parse through a lot of reports and information out there and distill them into, again, it's like material information that would impact your due diligence work, right? Assessing whether you need to, is it worth, the risk and return when you look at investments, right? And then on the other hand, I think on the, I'd say soft skills, presentation and sort of the ability to communicate is always key. The ability to kind of think fluidly across disciplines and cycles. So that's more how you think about a situation or problem, not linear thinking out of the box is also really important. And lastly, I think, especially for our job, sometimes there's no answer, right? There's no one way to do it. So being very resourceful, being very creative, and being very proactive. And I think the bedrock of those two skill sets, the foundation of it is you got to be just very interested and have that passion for it. So it drives you to keep on wanting to learn.